Hi, I'm Rachel, that's Missy on the bed behind me, and I'm here to share my February 2020 book haul. I almost made it to the end of this month by not actually acquiring a new book, but then at the very end I got something. And otherwise, I have a bunch of library books to show you. Kinda. It's gonna be a strange month. So a couple of weeks ago, this author put her first book up on Goodreads for a giveaway. She had several copies to give away. And I've been following her on Twitter ever since I saw her at the Maryland Writers Association, where she gave this great talk on world building. And in fact, I included her in my favorites video last year, which I will link down below. Long story short, I didn't think I'd won this giveaway, but lo and behold, tonight I saw a package in my mailbox, and inside was Mud by E.J. Wenstrom. This is the first book in her Chronicles of the Third Realm War. The final book of the series, Sparks, I believe is coming out on March 17th. Anyway, I'll read from the back. Trapped by his maker's command to protect a mysterious box, Adem is forced to kill anyone who tries to steal it. When a young boy chances upon Adem's temple, he resists temptation, intriguing the golem. As the boy and his sister convince Adem to leave the refuge of his temple, the group lands in a web of trouble. Now Adem will do whatever necessary to keep his new young charges safe, even if it means risking all to get rid of the box. Their saving grace comes in the form of an angel who offers to set Adem free of the box's magic by granting his greatest desire, making him human. But first Adem must bring back the angel's long-dead human love from the underworld. In doing so, he will risk breaking the barrier between the realms, a cataclysm that could launch the Third Realm War. To set things right, he may be forced to give up the one thing he's ever truly wanted, a chance of a soul of his own. So yeah, I remember at the last MWA conference I looked to see if she had any of these Chronicles of the Third Realms books for sale, and I was going to look again because she's going to be speaking again at the conference in March that I will also be attending. But, well, now at least I have one. Unfortunately, it seems like the paperbacks don't have her brand new Kindle covers, which are frankly very awesome, and but these are fine too, of course, and it's what's on the inside that counts, and I'm looking forward to giving this a try. But these next few items I'll be getting to much sooner. I'm essentially showing you a big part of my March TBR with this, and you will be seeing a little bit of a theme here. Starting with this. This is the CD sound recording of The Plot Against America by Philip Roth. I decided to get this out because the HBO miniseries is starting up in mid-March, and so I wanted to read the book, as it were, before watching the miniseries, and I'll link the trailer down below. This will be my third Philip Roth read, and I've had a bad experience with Roth, particularly with his book Portnoy's Complaint. My library's copy almost became target practice at the Fort Meade Army base. Seriously. But I think if I have any chance of liking Roth's works, it'll probably be his later material when he steps out of himself, kinda, and talks more about broader world issues. In this case, imagining what might have happened if Charles Lindbergh had won the U.S. election during the World War II, or around that time period, Lindbergh being a fascist and a Nazi sympathizer. So things would have been a lot different, and yet you can kind of see the appeal for making a mini-series about this sort of thing today. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Next, I have the CD sound recording for Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is also coming to miniseries, this time on Hulu. starring Reese Witherspoon. She's putting it out with her production company. This was a literary darling of BookTube and the broader world a couple of years ago, Celeste Ng's second novel, which I thought had to do with adoption, really, but I don't know. The trailer, which I'll link down below, certainly seems to be telling a different story. So I'm intrigued. Maybe I'm going into this more blind than I thought I was. And the third, and perhaps not last CD collection I'll be listening to in March is this one for The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I picked this up because it made the shortlist for fantasy of the BookTube SFF Awards, and it is also on the long list for the BookTube Prize, which I'm judging. I don't technically have to read this right now for BookTube Prize judging, and in fact, part of me was thinking I wouldn't read this at all because I wasn't a big fan of Morgenstern's first novel, and I think this one sounds like it's going to be told in much the same way, so I'm a bit hesitant, but I think I'll be talking about it a little bit more in an upcoming video that I'm going to do on the BookTube SFF Prize shortlist, so stay tuned. And finally, returning to your traditional book form again, I have this one. This is The Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. It is her third published novel and what I will be reading with Toni Morrison 2020 in March. Toni Morrison 2020 is a Voxer group that's started by Hannah from Hannah's Books, where we are reading Morrison's novels chronologically. We started in January and we are going full steam ahead. We've had some great discussions so far about the first two books. Just the other day, I put up something about magical realism and Sula, and people came back to me with such fascinating comments about what they saw in that vein, particularly thinking of the house as the Buendia house in Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So they've expanded my mind even with something I thought I brought up. And there's all sorts of great other commentary about Sula and The Bluest Eye, and this is what we'll be discussing in March, probably near the end of the month, giving us enough time to read this. This is a little bit longer than the first two books, so maybe it's commentary in and of itself about how Morrison's writing changes and has changed throughout her career, but I'll have to wait and see. So that about covers it for me now. You can find links to all of the books I mentioned down below. I know I said books, even though not everybody thinks of that with audiobooks, and indeed I will be reading more physical books as well. I just decided not to show them because I already either own them or they're BookTube Prize books that I'm officially judging for this time, and so I'm trying not to bring them up as much because, well, I'm not supposed to be talking about them too much. I don't know. I might be getting a little too superstitious here, but I figure I have enough to show you for one video anyway, when I'll be back tomorrow, as it is, to talk about my Friday reads. And again, I'm hoping to get to my BookTube SFF Awards video soon as well. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.